An advisory board is a collection of people who come around the table to give good advice to the business and to the entrepreneur. That's really at its core. Decision making. The main difference is that a board of directors has the fiduciary responsibility and makes the decision, whereas an advisory board doesn't make decisions. It's simply putting ideas out there, asking questions, identifying resources, but everything is left to the entrepreneur and the business to do with that what they want. They can filter all of it out and not take anything into consideration. They can adopt the ideas. I think it's also, in my experience, what I see around the advisory boards is that there's not unanimity in the ideas that are shared. And so the tough job is always residing with the entrepreneur to be that filter, to ultimately make the decision, but now does so with the benefit of different perspectives, additional ideas, perhaps a hybrid of a nuance of one path or the other, and didn't think about a third way of doing it that now is available to his thinking or her thinking. And that's the kind of value add that the advisory boards can deliver. To have an advisory board is different than having advisor conversations with advisors. That an entrepreneur might say, oh, I've got a good lawyer, I've got a good financial advisor, and we have conversations one-on-one. I get that that's beneficial and that ought to continue. But I think it's qualitatively different to have a group come together and get the collective benefit of the ideas that are shared. Oftentimes what I've seen is that someone's half-baked idea will get finished by someone else in the group, or, partial question will get a full-throated question by someone else who has it prompted, and they scaffold off of each other's ideas. And I just believe and have seen in the context of advisory boards, the collective wisdom of the group far outperforming any individual perspective. And I think that's the beauty and the magic of advisory boards. From the business perspective, it's a way of amplifying or extending the capacity of the team without adding staff. And I see that business is complex. It's hard to keep up with the pace of change in the marketplace these days. And I think that having an advisory board provides an entrepreneur with a sounding board to fine-tune their thinking, to expand their thinking, and to therefore come to better business decisions. So I think on one level, it just helps the entrepreneur get to a smarter, better business decision. There are a lot of pivots and forks in the road that businesses have to make decisions around, and having the benefit of a sounding board and a group of people who understand the business deeply and bring different experience, different perspectives, adds value to that thought process. And it doesn't bring decision making. It simply brings a sounding board, and it's a filter. The entrepreneur can filter anything that they hear and take what they like and not the rest. And that's a way of improving their decision making.
The values are immense. I mean, there's just so many values to reaching out to other people and having other people gain perspective on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what they might add to the to the mix. And my experience is that with the people that were on my board, they were just so ready to support this kind of business, because it is a big problem in the goat world, in the dairy goat world. And so there was just a lot of inner energy and synergy in being a part of the process of finding solution.
I think there are two main things. One is expertise that I don't have, being brought to bear on the problems that we face in our business. And the second thing is just even when you know that there's a clear path that you should follow, having that forcing mechanism to say, oh yeah, I really do need to do this, has been super helpful. So I've learned a lot from them, and it's also been a good kick in the pants to get moving on some things.
On a personal level, I think that, again, business is complex and it's demanding, and business can go through different phases of growth and of challenges. And that's hard. And I think having a board of advisors can be an empathetic board that can provide some additional support. It can relieve some of the pressure that gets built. Let's face it, being the leader, the buck stops there, and it's challenging in the face of all the changes and adaptations that the business has to go through. And I've seen at times that business owners, entrepreneurs, suffer from stress and ultimately end up getting burned out. So I actually think that having an advisory board is a way of forestalling that process and reversing it.
The more you meet with them and the better they get to know you, you're benefiting not just from the fact that they have expertise in what you're looking to do, but also that they know you. And so their knowledge of my company and my challenges, is as helpful as their knowledge of whatever it is I'm trying to tackle, and whatever, bigger picture expertise they may offer. They're able to combine those things, in a way where any old expert who doesn't know you just can't do it.
There have been one or two occasions when calling a particular board member, just to sort of be able to vent or, think out loud and have somebody who's not, not an employee, not my spouse, to be able to just be a sounding board has been super helpful, as much for mental health as anything else.